I was at the door with my suitcase packed, excited to finally take my daughter on vacation. Then, a sudden message shattered everything. You're not coming to Europe with us. My husband wants this to be a family trip. They took only my father-in-law and mother-in-law and left me behind. The same people I had just bought a brand new house for. That's when I decided I would cancel every payment and sell it back. And you won't believe what happened the moment they returned home. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are watching in the comments. I had just finished folding my favorite travel shirt when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. The soft cotton felt smooth beneath my hands, and I imagined wearing it for dinner at that little cafe Emily had talked about near the Louvre. My suitcase was open across the bed, half filled with neatly packed outfits for the trip I had been waiting for. The weather app showed bright skies over Paris, perfect for the walking tours I had carefully planned and tucked away in my carry-on. I hummed an old tune while deciding whether to pack my polished brown shoes or my more comfortable sneakers. On the nightstand sat the tickets to Charles de Gaulle and my passport, both waiting. 6 hours left until departure, and my heart was restless with excitement mixed with nerves. Then the phone buzzed again. Emily's name lit up the screen. I set the shirt aside, expecting last-minute flight details or a reminder about when we'd meet at the airport. Instead, the message made my hands turn cold. You're not coming with us to Europe. Ryan thinks this vacation should just be family. I read it once, then again, a third time. My thumb hovered over the glass like the words might somehow change if I stared long enough. That shirt I'd been folding slipped from my hands as my mind tried to understand. Family only. The phrase echoed in my head like an accusation. But I was her father. I had organized this trip, bought the tickets, researched the restaurants, mapped out every detail during long nights. How could family only exclude me? I sat heavily on the edge of the bed, suitcase gaping open beside me. My hands trembled as I typed the only word I could manage. Okay. The weight of rejection settled deep in my chest. Around me sat every trace of my plans. The travel-sized toiletries neatly lined on the dresser, the guidebooks marked with sticky notes, even the brand-new camera I bought just for this trip. With careful, deliberate motions, I closed the suitcase. The sharp click of the latches sounded like an ending. I called the airline, listening to the endless hold music before a representative finally answered. "I'm sorry to hear about your change of plans, Mr. Harris," Ms. Davis said politely, though I wondered if she could hear the disappointment hidden in my voice. Later, I sat in the quiet of my living room, travel brochures scattered across the table. The house felt hollow, almost too quiet. Outside, Mrs. Clark's dog barked somewhere down the street, the sound harsh against the silence inside. I picked up a glossy pamphlet about Roman architecture, stared at it, then set it aside. The gesture felt small, meaningless. Evening came, but the emptiness didn't fade. My suitcase still sat by the door like an accusation. I ate dinner in silence and left the dishes in the sink. Unusual for me, the TV droned in the background, some news report I wasn't listening to. I found myself scrolling my phone restlessly, searching for anything to ease the ache in my chest. On Facebook, I passed by Mrs. Turner's recipe shares, silly pet photos, and endless political debates. Then my thumb froze. There they were, Ryan's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Walker, standing proudly in front of the Eiffel Tower, grinning wide for camera like tourists who had just captured the perfect memory. The caption read, "Beginning of the best family vacation ever." The timestamp said it was posted 2 hours ago. Maybe it was just an old upload. Maybe they'd gone on a different trip and posted the photos late. That's what I told myself as my pulse quickened and I tapped the screen for more. But the next picture crushed that hope instantly. Same day, same setting, but this time there were 4 of them. Mr. Walker, Mrs. Walker, Ryan Walker, and my daughter Emily Harris, smiling together outside a Paris cafe. Half-empty wine glasses rested on the table behind them. Emily's caption twisted in my chest like a knife. So thankful for family time in the city of light. I stared at the screen, my hand trembling as I counted. 1, 2, 3, 4. The word family seared into my thoughts like it had been branded there. I set the phone down on the coffee table, but their cheerful faces still glowed against the darkened room. I stood and wandered toward the kitchen window. Across the street, the golden light from Mrs. Clark's windows spilled warmly onto the lawn, a family gathering for dinner. Together. Meanwhile, the betrayal inside me swelled with every heartbeat. I snatched the phone back, hoping I had somehow misunderstood, that another swipe or refresh might change the truth. But the timestamps were fresh. Their smiles were real, and the vacation I had dreamed of, researched, and planned was happening. Without me, the glass of the kitchen window caught my reflection, hollow-eyed, weary, on the counter. My phone still displayed their photo. Their joy laid cruelly against the outline of my lonely reflection. The comparison gutted me. That night, sleep never came. Every time I closed my eyes, their Paris snapshots flickered behind my lids. By dawn, with gray light seeping through the curtains, I knew I needed to hear from her directly. My hands weren't steady as I gripped a coffee mug at the kitchen table, rehearsing words I could barely form. It was afternoon in France. The timing was perfect. I pressed call, listening to the hollow, expensive international ring. 3 rings. 4. Then her voice, bright and carefree. "Hi, Dad." I could hear Ryan Walker's voice in the background, along with city noise and chatter. "I need to understand something," I said flatly. "What's that?" she replied, distracted, probably looking around at some street performer or shop window. "I saw the photos on Facebook. Ryan's parents are there with you." Silence stretched out before her voice returned, sharper now. "Dad, we can explain. You told me it was family only. What am I then?" Her tone chilled. "Look, Ryan said you can be overwhelming. He didn't want the trip ruined." The word overwhelmingly slammed into me. Ruined. That was how they saw me? "I planned this trip. I bought those tickets." She continued, defensive now. "And Ryan's parents paid for themselves. They're not like you. They don't expect constant help." Constantly. The word stung. "I supported you both when you needed it." I reminded her. "We never asked for guilt, Dad." In the background, I heard Ryan Walker laughing at something else entirely, oblivious to the dagger his wife was twisting into me. Her next words came like a hammer. "Honestly, Dad, Ryan was right. You're too needy." The phone felt like a brick in my hand. I managed only, "I understand." "Good. We'll talk when we're back." Clicked it, I set the phone down carefully, but her words echoed, cruel and endless, needy. Drawn by instinct, I walked to my study. Family photos lined the walls. There was Emily Harris wobbling on her first bike while I steadied her. Her graduation day. Her wedding day, where I proudly walked her down the aisle. My fists curled as I stared at images of a bond one thought had been love, but now realized was something far colder. One photo showed me holding Emily as a newborn. In the glass, I saw my reflection now. An older man, face hardened, something colder in his eyes. I adjusted the frame carefully. As though straightening more than just a crooked picture, I stayed there, surrounded by photos that no longer comforted me, but accused me. The graduation I'd paid for when her loans piled up. The wedding I covered $30,000 gone to create her perfect day. The house mortgage I co-signed when banks rejected them. Christmas mornings where the most expensive gifts under the tree had come from me. Birthdays where my present was open last, like an afterthought. Then the receipts. The $80,000 I withdrew from retirement for their down payment. The car payments I took over when Ryan couldn't keep his job. Credit cards I cleared when they ran out of money. The Europe tickets I bought from years of my own savings. And beyond the money, the sacrifices. Fishing trips with lifelong friends I canceled because Emily needed babysitting. The woman from my book club I turned down because my daughter needed help moving. My dreams were delayed again and again so this could go on. Sunday dinners where Ryan barely looked at me. Holidays where I was more of an extra than family. And still, they called me needy. One by one, I flipped the photos face down. I couldn't look anymore in that silence. The truth became painfully clear. I had never been loved. I had only been useful. They had never truly invited me into their lives. What they had done was use me as a bank that I pushed back from my desk. So abruptly the chair slammed against the wall. In the mirror above my desk, I no longer saw a father. What looked back was a man who confused unconditional giving with love, only to be met with exploitation and dismissal. The reflection showed a man who had given years of patience, trust, and money, and all he received in return was betrayal. I opened my laptop and stared at my online banking dashboard. My eyes froze on the authorized users section. Both Emily Harris and Ryan Walker had full access to my accounts. My hand hovered above the trackpad, trembling, just one click away from cutting the cord. But instead of acting on impulse, I shut the laptop carefully. Some choices can't be made in anger. Some require calculation. The house was silent, pressing down on me. The framed photographs on the wall all turned face down. The quiet had weight, heavy and suffocating. Then my phone buzzed, the familiar chime of my banking app. I nearly ignored it, assuming it was junk mail or another alert about identity protection. But something in me clicked. I needed distraction. The screen lit up, transaction processed. I unlocked the app. My chest tightened. The charge was from Liberard Restaurant, Paris. The timestamp? 2 hours earlier, midday in France. MY's stomach sank. It wasn't just any card. Emily Harris had used my card. Years ago, I'd given her emergency access, thinking I was helping her build credit, supporting her independence. And now, here she was, charging a Parisian fine dining, while I sat thousands of miles away, excluded from the very trip I'd paid for. Scrolling down, my blood boiled. Hotel bills, boutique shopping, museum admissions. All of it was charged me as so much for Mr. Walker and Mrs. Walker, supposedly covering their own expenses. Every swipe of that card was another reminder. They didn't just leave me behind. They were living off me while doing it. I began pacing my office, the phone clutched tight in my hand. Every photo on the wall now looked like evidence, proof of years I had mistaken being useful for being loved. And then it clicked. A simple thought cut through the fog. This is my chance. That I navigated to the card management page. There it was, Emily Harris's name, typed out cold and digital, a symbol of years of financial dependency. My finger hovered over the remove user option. Another notification pinged. 85 euros at Boutique Chic, Paris. That was enough. The screen asked, "Are you sure? This action cannot be undone." Yes. The words felt like freedom. The confirmation blinked. Access revoked. I placed the phone gently on my desk and looked at my reflection on the black computer screen. For the first time in days, a faint smile tugged at my lips that I walked to the kitchen, put coffee on, and listened to the normal rhythm of life outside. The distant hum of a lawn mower. Ordinary, grounding, steady. My private revolution had begun. The next morning, I sat at the kitchen table sipping coffee, really tasting it this time, while the local paper lay open in front of me. For the first time all week, I felt calm. Then my phone rang. The aggressive tone of an international call. 9 a.m. here, 4 p.m. in Paris. I recognized the number immediately. I let it ring twice before answering. No rush, no eagerness to please. "Good morning to you too, Emily," I said evenly. Her gasp was sharp. "Dad, what did you do to the card?" No greeting, no concern, just demand. "I remove your access to my account." "Don't play games." I tried to pay for lunch in front of Mr. Walker and Mrs. Walker. The waiter had to come back 3 times. Do you know how humiliating that was? "That must have been uncomfortable," I said calmly, taking another sip of coffee. "Uncomfortable? It was mortifying. You can't do this. I need that card." "For what?" "I thought you didn't want me constantly taking care of you." "That's different." Her voice was rising by the second. "Is it?" There was muffled talking in the background before she came back, sharper than ever. "If you don't fix this right now, there will be consequences." "What kind of consequences?" "We've been talking," she said, venom dripping in every syllable. "When we get home, we're looking at care facilities. You're not getting younger, Dad. You clearly can't handle your own finances responsibly. We'll sell your house to pay for it. You don't need all that space anyway." I froze, my coffee cup halfway to my lips. Care facilities? It's for your own good, I heard Ryan Walker say faintly in the background. Her tone was ice. Restore my card access. I heard every word. Good. So you'll do it? No, what do you mean no? I mean no. Enjoy the rest of your family vacation. Dad, don't you dare. I ended the call. Setting the phone face down, I finished my coffee in silence. My hands were steady now. I gazed out the kitchen window of my yard. The house I had lived in for 3 decades, owned free and clear, with only my name on the deed. The house they thought they could sell. I stood up with new purpose, left my coffee half full, and walked to my office with steps that felt sharper, stronger, more certain than they had in years. There was still work waiting for me. From my filing cabinet, I pulled out a thick folder and spread it across my desk like a commander reviewing battle plans. It wasn't my own house deed I was studying, but the title papers for the Maple Street property. The house I had purchased years ago for Emily Harris and Ryan Walker. My name stood alone on the document, the legal owner since the day I signed it. I could still hear Emily's voice from back then. It's just for the loan approval, Dad. Once everything is settled, we'll transfer it. But the transfer had never happened. Year after year, excuse after excuse. Next season, next month, after the holidays, they always postponed. I reached into my drawer and pulled out the card of Marcus Chun, the real estate agent who had handled both of my property purchases. Marcus was reliable, discreet, and not the type to ask questions that didn't need answering. Without hesitation, I grabbed my keys and left the house. The drive across Davenport carried me past familiar streets. I caught sight of Mrs. Whitaker, my neighbor, watering her flowers, and she waved as I pulled out of my driveway. To her, it probably looked like any other morning, but I knew this day was different. 20 minutes later, I parked outside Marcus's office, located in a restored Victorian house that reflected his sense of care and detail. As I stepped inside, Marcus looked up from his desk, eyebrows lifting in recognition. "Mr. Harris, good to see you," he said warmly. "How's retirement?" "I need to put the Maple Street house on the market," I replied without pause. His expression shifted, reading the seriousness in my voice. "The one you bought for Emily? Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine," I lied smoothly. "I just need it sold quickly." Marcus nodded and turned his computer screen toward me, fingers moving with practiced efficiency. The market's hot. That neighborhood, easily $180,000, maybe $190,000. A quiet satisfaction stirred inside me. I had paid $130,000 2 years earlier. How fast could we move it? I asked. "If we price it right, you'll have offers in days. Photos, maybe staging. I can have my team there tomorrow. Should I coordinate with Emily for the showings?" "She's overseas," I replied. "I have the keys." Marcus hesitated, curious, but said nothing more. That was one of the things I liked about him. He knew when to remain silent. I signed the listing papers with a steady hand, my decision final and absolute. Walking back to my car, I felt something inside me lifting. For the first time in weeks, my steps had purpose. I turned on the radio, letting classical music fill the silence as I drove through downtown. At a red light, I watched a young family cross the street. Father holding a toddler, mother pushing a stroller. The sight dragged me back to when Emily was small, when everything between us was simple, before money twisted the lines of love and obligation. Back at my own home, I logged onto my laptop. A new message appeared. Property listed successfully. The word sent a thrill through me, like a dam breaking. But I wasn't finished yet. I searched for moving companies in Davenport. Most results were big corporations, but my instincts pushed me to scroll further until I spotted Dave's Honest Moving, a family-owned business with glowing reviews. I dialed the number. "Dave's Moving. This is Dave Miller," a strong, no-nonsense voice answered. "I need an entire house moved into storage. Tomorrow morning, if possible." He paused only briefly. "That's a tight schedule, but doable. Do you already have a storage unit?" "Not yet. I recommend Secure Storage on Brady Street. I can connect you with Janet Brooks over there. We work with them all the time." Within minutes, The three of us were on a call. Janet's professional but friendly tone guided me through the process. For a full home, you'll want at least a 10 by 20 unit, she explained. First month, $120 prepaid. I'll take it, I said, my voice firm. By the time I hung up, the details were set. Dave Miller and two of his movers would be at Emily and Ryan's Maple Street house at 8 a.m. sharp. Everything would be cleared out before they even stepped foot back from Europe. That evening, I cooked myself a proper dinner, something I hadn't bothered to do in weeks. I set out my old jeans and work boots, the same ones I'd worn back when I built homes instead of simply financing them. For once, I didn't feel like a man waiting for life to happen to him. I was taking it back. The next morning, I arrived at the Maple Street house early, as was always my habit. The house no longer looked like their home. To me, it was simply a property to be cleared. The rumble of a truck engine caught my attention. Dave's moving truck was already parked outside. The man himself climbed down from the cab, a solid figure in his 50s, his face weathered but steady. He looked at me, gave a short nod, and extended his hand. "Morning, Mr. Harris," he said. "Let's get this done." And with that, the real work began. His two crew members, younger guys in matching company shirts, were already unloading gear with quick, practiced movements. Dave Miller extended a roughened hand, his grip strong and ready for work. I slipped my spare key into the lock, opening the Maple Street house. The silence inside felt heavy but fitting. We moved room by room, Dave taking in the furniture and clutter with an experienced eye. "This'll take 3, maybe 4 hours with the bigger pieces," he said, jotting notes on his clipboard. I pointed out what belonged to Emily Harris and Ryan Walker, which, of course, was everything. The pricey sectional sofa I'd surprised them with last Christmas. Ryan's elaborate home office rig, stacked with gaming gear. Emily's 2 closets jammed with high-end clothes. The movers started boxing up the bedrooms, wrapping, labeling, and stacking with almost military precision. I insisted on pitching in despite Dave's warning about liability. "I'm not that old," I joked, earning a grin from one of the younger guys. Soon, I was hauling boxes labeled Emily's books and Ryan's sports gear, and there was a strange satisfaction in watching their lives packed away, piece by piece. In their bedroom closet, I stumbled across wedding photo albums. Flipping through, I noticed how rarely I appeared. Mr. Walker and Mrs. Walker dominated every frame, while I lingered on the edges of maybe 3 shots. My chest tightened. I shut the album and handed it silently to one of Dave's crew. Room after room, we stripped out items I'd long forgotten I'd purchased for them. Designer handbags, high-end electronics, the leather dining set I bought for their first anniversary. My back ached, but I pushed through, fueled by a determination I hadn't felt in years. In what would have been a nursery, I saw a crib and baby furniture, waiting for grandchildren who never came. For a flicker of a second, guilt wavered through me. Was I being too severe? But then I opened one of Ryan's credit card statements tucked away in a drawer. Luxury purchases abroad, all while he pleaded poverty to me. The guilt vanished instantly. "You holding up okay, Mr. Harris?" Dave asked, catching me standing still. "Just memories," I said quietly. "Keep going." By 11:30 a.m., we completed the walkthrough. Empty rooms echoed differently, sunlight spilling across bare hardwood floors. I locked the door and followed the moving truck to secure storage, watching every box vanish into Unit 47B. I paid Dave Miller in cash, slipping him a generous tip. "Hope it works out for you, Mr. Harris," he said sincerely. Driving home, my phone lit up with Facebook notifications. It buzzed in my cup holder like an impatient reminder. Inside my house, I finally checked. Emily Harris had already posted bitter status updates. Some people have no respect for family privacy. Her friends filled the comments, consoling her as she painted herself the victim, as always. I closed the app without responding and dialed Marcus Chun. "Mr. Harris, great news," he said, voice bright. "We have a serious buyer. Cash offer already. Young couple, new to town, love the neighborhood." I stayed silent, letting him continue. $185,000, he added. Better than expected. Satisfaction surged. When do they want to close? This weekend. They're in a month-to-month rental and eager to move. Make it happen, I said. Friday morning, I sat at the title office, signing documents with steady precision. Soon after, I shook hands with the buyers, Michael Thompson and Sarah Thompson, early 30s, hopeful, optimistic, the kind of couple Emily and Ryan once were. We love the landscaping, Sarah said during our walkthrough. I didn't mention it wasn't mine. It's perfect, Michael added, clutching the keys. We can move in tomorrow. My phone buzzed with the transfer confirmation. $185,000. After fees, $175,000 profit. What had begun as a father's gesture had ended as a business victory. Saturday, I drove past the house one final time. A U-Haul sat in the driveway, Michael directing movers while Sarah planted flowers in the front yard. A baby crib was carried inside. A fresh start. Then, as if scripted, a taxi pulled up. Out stepped Emily Harris, travel-worn but instantly alert. Ryan Walker paid the driver, his expression shifting as he spotted the U-Haul and strangers on his driveway. "Excuse me," Ryan called, his tone sharp. "What are you doing in our house?" Sarah looked up from her gardening, puzzled. "Your house? There must be a mistake." Michael appeared at the doorway, deed in hand. "We closed yesterday." "That's impossible. This is our house." Emily snapped, her voice cutting like glass. I stepped calmly from my car, pulling an envelope from my jacket. Her eyes found mine, her face twisting from confusion to rage. "Dad, what is going on?" she demanded. "The house was mine to sell," I said firmly. Ryan's face went pale. "What do you mean yours?" "Check the deed. It was never transferred to your name. You can't just sell our home." Emily's voice cracked. "I can sell my property," I said evenly, which is exactly what I did. "This is theft. We'll sue you," Ryan shouted. "With what money?" "Last I heard, your credit cards were declined in Paris." Michael and Sarah glanced uneasily at each other, then moved toward their new front door. "Please go inside," I told them. "This doesn't concern you. Where are we supposed to live? Where's our stuff?" Emily cried. I handed Ryan the envelope. He tore it open, reading aloud. "Secure storage, Unit 47B, Brady Street." "You put our life in storage?" Emily's voice broke. "I preserved everything carefully. The first month's rent is already paid. This is insane. You can't do this to your family." Ryan shouted. "Family doesn't abandon fathers." I replied. His jaw tightened. "We'll fight this in court." "You'll lose. The sale is legal. How could you do this to your own daughter?" Emily's voice turned pleading. I met her eyes, steady. "How could you do what you did to your own father?" Behind them, Sarah Thompson appeared again. "Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine," I said, steady as stone. "Enjoy your new home." Emily and Ryan stood stranded on the sidewalk, luggage in hand, looking like foreigners in what they thought was their life. I walked to my car, the weight of my boots grounding me. "This isn't over." Ryan yelled after me. "Yes, it is." I murmured as the engine hummed and classical music played on. Months later, the lawsuit arrived. Predictable. I signed without surprise. By afternoon, the case was dismissed. The court was clear. I had every right to sell. Emily and Ryan were stuck with their own legal fees. The town buzzed with gossip, some sympathizing, others condemning. I let it wash over me. At the hardware store, Marcus Chin asked, "How are you holding up?" "Better than I expected," I said truthfully. That afternoon, I visited a pet shop. A golden retriever named Max needed a home. His family had moved overseas. When I knelt, his tail wagged furiously, as though he had been waiting for me all along. The bond formed instantly. Max seemed to recognize the emptiness I carried, while I recognized in him the same fear of being left behind. Within an hour, he was riding in the passenger seat of my car, ears in the wind, as if he'd been waiting for this moment his whole life. That night, he curled up at the side of my bed. For the first time in months, neither of us drifted off alone. With Max snoring softly, I found myself scrolling through listings for travel trailers. Articles about freedom after retirement and senior RV adventures filled the screen. At the dealership, salespeople circled with bright smiles, eager to make a sale. I climbed behind the wheel of a 25-foot Airstream, compact enough for one person and one loyal dog. Before the paperwork was even signed, Max had already claimed the passenger seat as his own. Using the trade-in from my second car and dipping into savings, I made the purchase outright. Max took to RV life instantly. We traced out our journey together, national parks, quiet back roads, and the little towns I'd always pushed aside for family first. The morning we pulled away from Davenport, I'd already arranged a mail hold and asked Mrs. Clark to keep an eye on the property. The trailer was stocked with gear, Max's food, and a single album, photographs of Emily Harris as a child, from the days before distance grew between us. As I steered out of town, Max's tail thumped with excitement. That energy was contagious. Passing Maple Street, I slowed. Michael Thompson and Sarah Thompson were outside, their children running across the yard of what was once my home. The house finally seemed to have the laughter it had always deserved. The interstate sign ahead read, Colorado 500 miles. My grip on the wheel was steady. Max's nose pressed the breeze. We were no longer stuck. That night, we parked at a cliffside overlook. I unfolded a chair and watched the horizon burn orange and violet as the sun sank. Max leaned against my leg, content, devoted, and asking for nothing but company. For the first time in years, I realized I was exactly where I belonged. Would you have done the same if you were in my place? Share your thoughts below. I read every single comment. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss what happens next.